Let's get right into it. Habit number 1, pay yourself first. Most people have the same savings plan. Pay rent, handle the bills, grab groceries, treat yourself a little. Then save whatever's left at the end of the month. The problem is, there's never anything left, and it's not because you're bad with money. There's something called Parkinson's law. It says your spending will always grow to fill whatever money you have available. Give yourself $2,000, you'll spend $2,000. Hand yourself $5,000, somehow you'll spend that too. Your brain sees available money as spendable money. That's just how it works. So the only real fix is to move the money before your brain even counts it. The second your paycheck hits, before rent, before groceries, before anything, move at least 20% straight into savings, not what's left. First, think about rent. You pay it without question because it's non-negotiable. Your future deserves that exact same priority. Habit number 2, make yourself uncomfortable on purpose. Most people treat the comfort zone like a neutral safe space, somewhere nothing bad can reach you. The truth is, it's a shrinking cage. Every year you stay inside it, your brain gets better at avoiding discomfort and worse at tolerating the exact risks that build real wealth. The cold call that makes your voice shake, the negotiation where you might hear no, the embarrassment of starting something when you're still bad at it. Most people quietly decide that's just not for them. But the most consistent pattern across self-made millionaires isn't genius or luck. It's an almost unusual ability to stay in discomfort long enough to get through it. Money lives on the other side of discomfort, almost every time. Think about it. Every raise you've gotten started with an uncomfortable conversation. Any skill worth having felt awkward before it felt natural. The wealth you're looking for isn't hiding behind a secret strategy. It's waiting on the other side of the discomfort. Habit number 3, measure your money. When was the last time you actually knew, not guessed, but genuinely knew, where every single dollar went last month? Most people couldn't answer that honestly right now. And that gap between what you earn and what you can account for has a very real price tag. Your money is bleeding in ways you probably can't see. Forgotten subscriptions, delivery fees stacking quietly. Small purchases that felt harmless in the moment. $9.99 here, $14.99 there. Add it all up and you'd be genuinely surprised by the number. Here's what most people miss. You don't have to earn more to save more. Studies consistently show that people who actively track their spending save more, not because their income changed, but because seeing the number changes the decision every time. Wealthy people track this obsessively. Not out of paranoia, but because measuring money shifts your whole relationship with it. From emotional and reactive to clear and intentional. Think of it like a leaking pipe. You can't fix what you can't see. Start paying attention. Habit number 4, avoid status spending. The most dangerous moment in your financial life isn't when you're broke. It's when you start earning more. Because the second more money comes in, something in your brain whispers, upgrade. New apartment, new car, nicer clothes. You earned it, right? Imagine this. You get a raise. You're genuinely excited. But 3 months later, your rent is higher, your car payment is bigger, and somehow you're just as tight at the end of the month as before. That cycle has a name, lifestyle inflation, and it's the single biggest reason most people who earn good money are still one paycheck away from broke. Dr. Thomas Stanley spent years studying actual millionaires for a book called The Millionaire Next Door. Most of them drive used cars, live in ordinary neighborhoods, and their neighbors have absolutely no idea they have money. The loudest, most visible lifestyle in any room is almost always carrying the most debt. Look, every dollar you spend on looking wealthy is a dollar you're pulling away from actually becoming wealthy. Those are opposite directions. Real wealth is almost always invisible. Habit number 5, say no more than you say yes. Warren Buffett said something worth stopping for. He said the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Not most things, almost everything. The man has over $100 billion, and the pattern he keeps pointing to isn't stocks or timing or secret information. It's about what he chose not to do. Look, every yes you say is secretly a no to something else. Say yes to the side project that barely pays? You just said no to the opportunity that could actually change your life. Say yes to the event you don't want to attend? You just said no to 3 focused hours that could move something real forward. Most people aren't financially stuck because of what they refused. They're stuck because of everything they agreed to. Start a not-to-do list, seriously. Write down everything you need to stop saying yes to. That list will do more for your financial life than any goal-setting worksheet you've ever filled out. Habit number 6. Create more than you consume. While you're scrolling tonight, somebody your exact age is spending that same hour building something, a skill, a side business, an audience, that will one day compete directly with your income. That race is happening right now, whether you show up or not. There's a simple truth about money almost nobody says out loud. Consumers pay and creators get paid. That's the entire engine the economy runs on, whether we're talking about a video, a product, or a service. So the real question isn't how much you earn this month. It's how many hours of your day you spend consuming versus how many you spend producing something. That single ratio predicts your future wealth more accurately than your current bank balance ever could. And honestly, this part stings a little. Your biggest competitor probably isn't smarter than you, more talented than you, or luckier than you. They just made one different choice, over and over, day after day. They chose to create, while you chose to consume. Habit number 7. No spend day per week. What if one empty day per week could quietly rewire your entire relationship with money? One day, no takeout, no online shopping, no impulse purchases. 0. Most people think the value is in the money saved. It's not. Think about how you actually spend on a normal day. You're bored, you order something, stressed, you swipe the card on something you didn't plan for. You're scrolling and see an ad, and 10 minutes later, you've bought something you'll forget about by next week. Most spending isn't really a decision, it's a reflex. A no-spend day breaks that reflex. It creates a pause between the feeling and the purchase. And once that pause exists in your mind, something quietly changes. You start asking, on every other day too, do I actually want this? Or am I just trapped by my emotions right now? That question, once you start asking it, is worth more than any budgeting app you'll ever download. Because the real problem was never the money. It was the autopilot your brain runs on every single day without ever asking your permission. Habit number 8. 10 pages daily. Most people stopped reading the day they finished school. That one quiet, passive decision has been costing them every year since. Here's the math. 10 pages a day sounds like almost nothing. But that's about 12 to 15 books a year. Over 5 years, 60 to 75 books, more than most adults read in their entire lives after graduating. Warren Buffett reads 5 to 6 hours every single day. He calls it the single greatest investment he's ever made. Not stocks, not real estate, reading. And here's the thing nobody says out loud. The answers to your specific money problems have already been found. Someone else already went through exactly what you're facing right now, figured it out, and wrote it all down in a book you can pick up for less than $20. The only question is whether you'll actually pick it up. What you know that other people don't is a real direct advantage in life. Habit number 9. Ruthlessly upgrade your network. Harvard researchers found something most people are not prepared to hear. Your social connections, the actual people you consistently spend time with, are a stronger predictor of your financial future than your education, your IQ, or how hard you work. The room you are in is more powerful than your resume. That is data, not motivation. Here is why that matters. The people around you silently define what feels normal, what a reasonable income looks like, whether a certain risk is even worth taking, what counts as thinking too big. Every day spent in a circle that is not growing is a quiet recalibration, downward. Most people protect their social comfort more fiercely than their financial future. They keep the same familiar circles, and those circles quietly confirm the exact ceiling they are trying to break through, year after year. You do not have to abandon anyone. Just deliberately put yourself in rooms where your biggest ambition is someone else's Tuesday, where what feels massive to you feels completely normal to them. That proximity alone shifts what you believe is possible, and possibility is where wealth actually begins. Habit number 10. Keep your words. There's an invisible economy running underneath the one most people pay attention to, not money, trust. Every high-value opportunity, every partnership worth having, every introduction, that could actually change your trajectory. All of it is governed by one simple question. Can people count on you? No app tracks this. Your bank has no record of it. But every person worth knowing in your life is quietly monitoring it. Every broken promise, every "I'll get to it" that never gets got, every missed deadline, each one is an invisible withdrawal. You won't see it on any statement, but you'll feel the ceiling it quietly builds. Opportunities stop arriving. The right introductions stop happening. Now think of the most reliable person you know. 8 a.m. means they're there at 7:55. I'll send that tonight. It's already in your inbox. People invest their time, money, and access in that person. Always, because reliability is genuinely rare. These small, kept promises are compound interest for your reputation. Your word is a financial asset. Start treating it like one. Habit number 11. Start before you feel ready. Here is the truth about waiting until you feel ready. Ready is not a real destination. It is a story your brain invented to protect you from putting yourself out there and possibly failing in front of others. Successful people do not feel ready either. They start. Action builds readiness, never the other way around. Picture the version of you from 2 years ago who decided to wait. For the savings to look better, for the right moment, for the idea to feel more solid. That version of you is still waiting, still preparing. Every month that passes is momentum and experience you can never go back and recover. Jeff Bezos launched Amazon from a garage with no guarantees. Sarah Blakely built Spanx on $5,000 with zero business training. Neither one waited for perfect conditions, because perfect conditions never come. Waiting to start is not a pause. It becomes a habit of its own, one that compounds quietly in exactly the wrong direction. The messy, imperfect version of you who begins today will always outperform the polished version of you who begins someday. Start now, with what you have, exactly where you are.